If you only knew the power of the dark side.
2, 1, 0.
Guys and gals, this is Michael Burhan here for another gaming vlog. I know it's been a while since I've done one of these. A lot of it has got to been, it's more to do with the fact that I had been doing other things at the point in time. I've opened up a film company, I've got a portable studio facility, and I've been trying to earn money outside, you know. I've also been like trying to get some more auditions as an actor and basically do my thing as well at the same time, and also finish up this Job for Hire episode 3, which has taken a lot of my time to edit, and from what any YouTuber or film presario or anybody who's taken on this big of a job, it's a kind of a learning experience, because I've never edited before in my life apart from doing a couple of vlog videos, and it's like become I'm getting there, but I want to make sure that this thing is crisp before I bring it out. Hopefully by the end of this week it's going to be out, so I can get it out there. If not, we can, you know, it will just need a bit more tweaking. Now, while I'm getting that out of the way, I'm putting out a couple of vlogs. I've got 2 vlogs that are already out at the moment for some politics. It's basically simplified versions of political discussions, talking about exactly what's been going on currently in the UK. I'm going to try and bring it out in more of a broader spectrum over to the United States, and also Brazil and stuff like that as well at the same time, but at the moment I'm trying to stick it to here. Now, the thing I want to talk about at the moment is go back to basically to gaming, and the big gaming thing I want to talk about is Nintendo. Now, it's probably no shock to most of you, but it's a shock to many that the Wii U hasn't been selling as well as it should have been, and this year is like the 3rd year in terms of forecast where the console itself is basically making a loss. It's not making as much as Nintendo hoped for. Now, Mr. Iwata, the person who's basically been running Nintendo Japan, hasn't resigned yet. He's stating that he's not going to resign, he's going to stick with the company and see this through. And Nintendo is still making big bucks because of the 3DS, and also because of the sort of like upscaling and shift into more Nintendo releases, and then people are buying these releases and getting it out there in terms of the console. Now, the shocking thing at this point in time though is that they may be looking at mobile gaming to sort of port their extensive library of games over to sort of tablet devices and stuff, which is a good move, but it's not a good move at the same time. Now, for those of you who don't know, I talked about it on I Got Gameplay with Sony going over to Gaikai, which could single-handedly end Sony's endeavour into console manufacture, because once they've gone over to Gaikai and they've basically started releasing their games digitally and people accept this, it's going to be a case where they're either going to release like a little box, something like the Vita TV, and then just swing out digital games on this thing, which basically changes the whole business model and how this works in terms of gaming. Now, Nintendo, it's kind of sad that they're going to be going over to tablets and devices, because that isn't the real problem. I really, really believe in my heart of hearts the real problem with this console is that there's no online multiplayer. There's a lack of it, you know. People don't support it on this console at the moment because Nintendo are not pushing that sort of element. You know, with Tank, Nintendo Land, Sonic All-Star Racers, you've got a slew of games that are out there at the moment. The new Mario Kart games coming out, Smash Brothers, they should be all online support. The problem is, out of all these games that I've suggested, the only game that seems to be online supported is Sonic All-Star Racers, and it's a mission to try and get to play your friends. It is a mission. I wouldn't know unless I basically had to search online to figure out how to actually do this. It shouldn't be that hard. There should be a way that you can actually have your friends list and you can play games online. They're very selective as well on how they do things. Now, if they basically try and patch that system up and make something so that it can be a better online support, I think they'll, they could attract a lot more hardcore gamers, people who are not willing to spend 500 to 600 bucks on an Xbox One or a PS4. They don't have many games on those consoles at the moment, and the Wii U could really bridge the gap. Now, there's a lot of people, a lot of friends of mine who are turning back onto that console now because there's a slew of titles coming out. But at the same level, I think that's kind of what's hindering it. And as well, I think it's Nintendo's unwillingness to work with third-party developers. Now, for those of you who don't know, Angry Joe did a 2013. It wasn't the worst games review. It was more the worst. It was like the worst events in gaming. Check out his channel, basically the Angry Joe Show, and check out this video because it's basically exactly. It wasn't as great as the 2012 one, because the 2012 one, it had a lot more depth to it. I think with this one, it was kind of, it wasn't shoddy, but at the same time, it wasn't that great. And I believe a lot of it was due to the fact that he had to limit what he put in his videos because of the whole new YouTube copyright strike thing. Like every other YouTuber out there, is trying to change the way that his channel does things. He's not like the Amazing Atheist, shout out to the Amazing Atheist, who earns a great deal of money just by doing vlogs. He talks about stories, he picks up stories and talks about it, and he's very intellectual about what he does. Joe's more of a game critic, and because he's a game critic, he's a games reporter, he tends to have a more fluid structure in terms of gameplays, in terms of vlogs, and brings his channel out that way and gets a lot of following. But because he has a lot of following, companies like YouTube at the moment, like Google, are kind of attacking his videos, the big ones, in order to take away a huge slice of his revenue. So I can understand why, that's that, but I kind of segued off of the actual topic here. And the actual topic was, he was talking about the fact that there was a GameSpot discussion. I don't think it was E3, I think it was CEX, where one of the lead developers for Bethesda was talking about Nintendo, and they went to Nintendo and they talked to Nintendo about developing games for their system, whereas Sony and Microsoft sort of like, what can we do to help you? They kind of extended the olive branch, believe it or not. Nintendo was like, well, this is our new console, develop for it. And that kind of turned people off. And I can understand, there's a sense of arrogance, I think, in the company that's not needed. They don't need to be arrogant. They don't need to be saying, we're Nintendo, develop for us, do what we want. It should be, we want you to help us out. We want you to develop for our console. We need to nurture these developers and get them on our console. And I don't think they're doing that. The third thing I want to, bring about as well on this, I think, is fan support. Nintendo have treated their fans atrociously. If you look back at my previous videos and my previous vlogs, when Nintendo attempted to take down my channel for a Scribblenauts video, which they don't even own, a Scribblenauts video, believe it or not, and this wasn't Nintendo of America, this was Nintendo of Japan, attempted to attack one of my videos and take down this video and my entire channel because of this. And they kind of tried to scare me into getting my material taken down, and it led to a huge battle between me and them, and I felt kind of jilted. I still report on their stuff, but I don't go as in depth as I used to in terms of doing the Nintendo Direct videos, because I used to do reviews on all the entire Nintendo Directs. I'm thinking of actually bringing that back, but I'm just trying to figure out a way to do it without them breathing down my neck, trying to get a bit of a revenue for that. I'm also going to be introducing Nintendo long plays, and because my YouTube channel doesn't really earn any revenue anyway, I might just, with the long plays, click it and say, yeah, you can have that slice, but everything else I want, is mine. But yeah, they left my channel in a bad standing. They tried to take my channel down, and it left me in a very, very bad situation in a sense, and it left a very vile taste in my mouth. And quite recently, I repaired this thing. Now, this is my 3DS. It's a beautiful little console. I love it. I got Pokemon Y for this console because I was looking at basically doing the Nintendo sort of like purchase a game and get the free Mario Land as part of the deal. Now, not only did Nintendo not register my Wii U, which I purchased, on day of release day, this console was purchased, and I registered it with the company. They did not register it until a year later for some weird reason. They then stated to me that my 3DS cannot be registered and I can't redeem my stars for the free game because, I can get this, the console itself is pre-owned. That's it. We don't support you buying our console pre-owned. Now, I purchased your console. I purchased your game for this console. I don't have the game in there right now. I have Bubble Bobble in there. And I purchased a console. I purchased your game, and I gave your console TLC. I've been with you guys since 1982, and I feel very unappreciated by Nintendo. And a lot of people give them jip for various other reasons, but I'm giving them jip for this, even though I do love the company. Don't get me wrong, I'm very passionate about Nintendo, and I do not want to see them finish with the Wii U. I think the Wii U has a lot of potential, but Nintendo really needs to open their eyes and stop being a bunch of stuffed shirts, especially Nintendo Japan. Now, that's the biggest thing as well, I see on that side. And you can also look at the whole Smash Brothers scenario as well, where they ended up stating that they're no longer going to do a story mode with cut sequences and everything because some idiot leaked cut sequences on the net. So apparently we all have to sit in the naughty corner for that. And it just really shows lack of appreciation. Now, for people who have purchased your console, have been with you since the 80s, and people like myself, and who are introducing their children, because I see it as a family-orientated console, and I introduced it to my kids. They play a lot of the family platform games, the Marios, the Sonics, and Skylanders and all that stuff, to introduce them into gaming and bring them up from that console to the more hardcore stuff when they get older, if they choose to, or they can just stick to Nintendo, of course. I think that Nintendo's been really letting people down, and I think a lot more people would give Nintendo that support, would give them that kind of help, that aid in a sense, and would support the company if they supported us back. The thing that people don't understand, Square Enix, another prime example on this, but I'll get to them in a later video. Sega as well, they learned a very valuable lesson for this. And a lot of, Microsoft, Sony, a lot of other companies have learnt lessons on this, and it's, the consumer isn't there to consume your product. There's a thing called consumer loyalty, that if you're loyal to the consumer, they'll be loyal back. If you treat people well with your Xbox 360, they'll buy an Xbox One. If you treat people well with your PlayStation 2 and 3s, people will buy your PS4s. They don't mind spending the money, but what they want is that little bit of TLC and that extra incentive to show that they're worth something. And at the moment, people don't feel that with Nintendo. And the brand has taken a huge hit because of it. And I think Nintendo really need to look at that and say, right, these are the list of things that we need to do. Put out some surveys, talk to your customers, get us to, open up a dialogue with us so that we can actually sit down and talk to you and say, hey, this is what's happened, this is what we can do for you, and what can we do to make your experience with us a lot better. And that's the basics. It's TLC. It's treating your consumer like they're part of your family. And Nintendo always was part of my family. And they still are. But they now seem more like the angry brother or the angry dad who wants to tell you what to do but not lead by his own example. And it leaves people with a very sour taste, to the point where everyone's sitting there thinking, what's the point? We've got a lot of hardships going on in terms of the way society is in general at the moment. We don't need our game manufacturers being arseholes too. So Nintendo, if anyone from Nintendo watches this video, because if you do, awesome. If you don't, well, that's your own problem. You really need to think about the way that you deal with people and the way that you treat them. And if you work on those, I believe those 6 things that I talked about, maybe, just maybe, your Wii U will be a success. Because the console itself, you started with a really stupid commercial to begin with, showing people a tablet instead of showing them the console and what the console was about. Everyone, I know how stupid people were, but a lot of people thought that the Wii U console was just a single tablet. So yeah. Nintendo. Seriously. Buck up your ideas, put your tail between your legs, come to the consumer and ask us for help. The moment you do that, the moment you'll realise that we'll be there for you. You know, I'm willing to put my money down on another Nintendo system, just not quite yet. The Wii U has a lot left in it. And I think as a company, don't do a Sega. Don't do what Sega did, because you're going to regret it. You start rolling out new consoles, people are just going to say, forget it. Work on what you have, make it work, and support those that supported you. And eventually, you'll find that there'll be a lot more sales in terms of the Wii U itself. Anyway, guys, as always, I want to throw out a little bit of advertising for you. The Daceman show, which I'm a contributor to, they're doing a thing called the Dacetacular charity for a cause. And what they're doing at the moment is they're going to do a 24-hour game-a-thon with a raffle. And all you've got to do is donate. I've got 142 subscribers on my channel. That's $10 each. Could literally make this charity like be its target. It's only $1,000. It's all they need to raise. $10 from each subscriber would help them raise that. If you look at the bottom of the link there, that will, you know, donate $10 each. And it's, you know, it's not a kind of altruistic thing here. If you think about it, you're going to get a prize. You get put in a raffle for a prize. You could win something. So if you give, there was also extra incentives there to do it. So, and I think at the moment it hasn't really been doing very well. I've donated $25 myself. I've stated to Chris and I've stated to the guys at Fanboys Anonymous that I don't want a prize. If I win anything, I'm going to give it back, and I'm going to allow them to pick the next person on to give it to them. I think that anybody who donates from the Daceman Show or Fanboys Anonymous should not be eligible for this. I think this needs to go out to you guys, the guys that support my channel, the guys that support everything that each of us do, and it should go to you. But please give $10 each. That's not much. If you're in the UK, that's £7.50. If you're in the United States, $10 is only a marginal amount of your paycheck. You know, that's a cup of coffee and a meal. You know, that's not that big. And it's for children. You know, I love my kids. I have kids myself, 4 little ones, and he wants to give to this hospital and give to these kids. So come on, donate $10 each. That's all they're looking for. Also, for you fans of Michael Burhan who love my sultry voice and think I'm so sexy, can actually hear me on the Retro Unlim network as part of the network showcase. I am on Saturdays at 8 PM on I Got Gameplay. I'm also guesting at times on Miguel Leon's show. He's like co-host from I Got Gameplay. He does the Untitled Movie Show. He's a really good episode so far. We've had 2 episodes. The first episode being the top, I believe, the consecutive flops in 2013. It's not kind of a top 10. It's more just us spitballing over what movies just didn't work for 2013 and what didn't gross as much as they should have, even though they were huge big budget movies. So you can check that out. So if you love Movie File, you will love that podcast. Where episode 2 is actually out now as well, where we talk about Man of Steel between me and Miguel and talk about why we think the DC movies aren't going to work, because they keep falling into the same traps. And also with other projects I've got going on, this Job for Hire episode 3, as I said, that is going to come out this month. I'm just still working on it, and I've got a movie out at the moment called The East London Story Slap or Die. It's on Daily Motion Video on Demand. It's going to be debuting on Amazon Video on Demand as well, and also we are going to intend to release a DVD copy of this movie. If we get enough results from the video on demand, we'll also release a Blu-ray copy, which is going to include extras and bonus footage and stuff like that for you guys as well. I'm doing this because I want to give back to the actors that have been part of this movie. It was shot in 2007 and no one really made any money off from it. But I'm also giving you guys a chance to sort of like critique me as an actor, because I've been critiquing so many directors out there. So, you know, give me your best shot. But just go on Dailymotion, click on that. You can pay by PayPal. It's £1.29, which is like $2.02. Take a look at the movie. It's a fun film. I think you guys have fun with it. It's a very 90s, cheesy, in your face, extreme kind of attitude. type of movie, and it was a fun character to play, but I was very green at the time, so it was very early in my acting career. We will be releasing another movie soon called A Long Time Gone, so you watch out for that. I'm really hoping that you guys do support me. Keep supporting this channel. Keep telling your friends. Like, comment, subscribe, of course, if you find this video and you haven't subscribed to the channel yet. And to all you guys out there, thank you for everything that you've done for this channel so far. And this is Michael Burhan reminding you that I've got gameplay. Have you? To the camera. And action.
Rolling around at the speed of sound. Got places to go, gotta follow my window. Catch the crowd at the speed of
Go on.
sound. There's one to hang the one way to find out. There's to the red. Don't have to guess and follow my lead. I'll set you free. Follow me, set me free. Trust me and we'll escape from the city. I think it's follow you. Follow me.
I think that works.
Can I do something funny now?
Okay, what do you want to do? What's funny?
It's gonna be the news, but it's really funny.
Okay, go on.
Hello, welcome to the news. We are here to the web. Hello, this is gonna be completely funny. It's gonna be completely